Hello Foxback and welcome back to Castle Crashers. Hopefully my controller doesn't act up as much. Controller work with me. Work with me, controller. Controller! I really need to get a new controller. Work! Alright, it's working. I can't guarantee how long that'll be though. I need to move this a bit closer. Alright, we're doing the finale. I'm doing the rest of the game. Well, technically not the rest of the game since there's all of Insane Mode, but doing the rest of the standard game, which is the Wizard's Castle Takeoff and then the Wizard's Castle, since the Wizard's Castle Takeoff lasts like, I don't know, a minute. So we have a Toolbox Painter guy, the Wizard, the Necromancer, and the Terminator Cyclops. Fantastic. I don't think they ever show like a sort of explanation for why the castle raises like that. But hey, I won't question it, because I can somehow propel myself with smoke. Ow. That did a lot of damage. I rarely ever get hit by these. Like, I think I've maybe, in all my playthroughs of this game, which, technically speaking, have only just been two, that being Red Knight and Green Knight, I've only ever been hit by those, like, 2 or 3 times. Mainly because they're so easy to dodge. Now, I do want to mention that since these guys, you know, are the minions of the wizard, they're wizards. So, even if I could use magic, it wouldn't help because they'd be impervious to it. Meaning, A, it wouldn't do a lot of damage, and B, they wouldn't stagger, so it would be useless. Because I keep forgetting to mention, after like what, 8, 9 episodes, that the main thing you want to do with magic is actually stagger the enemy and not necessarily just, I don't know, just not necessarily have them do for damage. Unless you're Red Knight. If you're Red Knight, then do all the damage you want with it. But if you're pretty much any other character, I don't know, I obviously haven't tested all the characters, but if you're pretty much any other character, then you can just say hi to stagger them with magic, if you're using magic. I'm not using magic, and I've already made the rule that I can't, you know, interesting sake, or to make this interesting. I'm sure I would have finished the Let's Play by like, I don't know, episode 6, or part 6 or whatever, if I was using magic, even though I don't know Grey Knight's magic. I know that his beginning magic, the one that's RT, well, if you're using a Xbox controller, is RTY, which is the arrows thing. Anyway, let's go find that painter guy, because that's who we fight first. He's easy, but, you know, I'm not using magic. Now, you really don't want to touch these guys. You can still hit them without being touched, see? But, you don't want to touch them because if you touch them, not only does it do tons of damage, but, it's also the fact that, while they explode, like I said, they do damage. And it's like at least, I don't know, it's like at least 1.5 times the damage. But yeah. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Come on. He's weak, the toolbox guy. I don't know what else to call him. I mean, his head's a toolbox. A lot of people call him the painter, which makes sense. That's what he does throughout the fight. He paints things, paints minions to come after you. I believe there's like 12 different things he paints, and he's another example of the bosses throughout this game that has real-time strategy progression, which I believe I mentioned it before, but in case you don't know, it's basically like the longer you fight him and the more damage he takes, the smarter he gets throughout the fight. Like, the less time he gives to damage him and the more things he paints at once. But I believe once you get him down to maybe 1/4, 1/5, something around there of his health, in which case he stops doing what he's doing now, which is going up and then coming down once everything's gone to paint. He just stays down walking around and has a bunch of things come from the left and right to try and distract you and do tons of damage. Which I would say at that point just focus on damaging him, since he doesn't have the highest defense in the game. I don't know. I would say, at least in terms of annoyance and not necessarily in difficulty, the worst boss throughout the game is what's his face? Ice Titan, Frost Titan, whatever it's called. It's that guy, because of the fact that especially he's a better example of real-time strategy progression because of the fact that his things hit much faster. Like, at least and this is like at least 4 minutes of the fight against Ice, Frost, whatever Titan was just when he was extremely low on HP, and I could only get like 1 or 2 hits on him at most, because of the fact that the things falling from the ceiling were just so quick that I had time for one thing and then move to, like, I could either move or stay there and get more hits on him, but get hit several times in the process. And while those things aren't the most powerful, they only do 10 damage, to me at least right now. They still, considering how fast they were going, they'd stack pretty quickly. Like, these things I'm sure would do about, like, I don't know, maybe 50 damage to me. 50 damage to me if I walked into them and they exploded. But yeah. I wish something would happen with these little painting guys, which is that when you shoot them, like when you do any sort of damage to them, even when you walk into them, it like makes little twirls of paint or whatever come out. And I wish that, like, the more you did that to them, the slower they'd get. Because, you know, it's like the paint that they are is coming off. So, I don't know. It just makes sense to me. Obviously, it doesn't have to happen since, you know, it doesn't happen. Yeah. He has, like, 12 or more different things he makes. The max he makes at once is 3, aside from the point I mentioned where he's just kind of walking around and all the things are coming from the left and right. And that was a very close call. I don't know. The size of the things do matter. Not those things, but the size of his paintings do matter. Like, the bigger they are, like for instance this elephant has a bigger hitbox than, say, the unicorn, which, while isn't much smaller, it still is smaller. And my hair is in my way, hold on. Alright, there. I need to, like, roll past so I don't get damaged. I'm having plenty of health, but you do have to fight, in terms of not the final boss, which is, if you haven't guessed, that wizard guy, you do have to fight 3 bosses in a row, which is, as you can tell, the painting toolbox guy, excuse me, the Cyclops with his coffin with his dead friend inside of it, and as well as the Necromancer, which some people just call the Black Knight. I call him the Necromancer because that's what he is. Frankly, that's what he is. Throughout the game, you see him reviving stuff. You see him revive the Cyclops, and you even see him in the marshlands. You see him revive several dead bodies into skeleton enemies. I'm not sure if that's how the other skeleton enemies were made, but that's how those skeleton enemies in that moment were made. Oh, don't want to get damaged. He's got to be like on the verge of just saying, hey, I'm going to stay down here for a while. Because I don't think he ever goes back up after he comes down. But who knows. This is definitely going to be, especially compared to the Cyclops, this is definitely going to be the longest boss fight that isn't the final boss. Oh, my game's lagging. Don't drop in frames. Hopefully it doesn't drop in frames when all the... Ow. That was quite a bit of damage. Hopefully it doesn't drop in too many frames when all the things are coming from the left and right, because that will be quite a bit of stuff. Alright, so I got like, I don't know, 1/3 of them gone. Something like that. I'm no mathematician. Especially not a visual mathematician. Alright, yeah. Now he's at that point. Just focus on him when he gets to this point. Follow him as much as possible and try to dodge the enemies because they don't chase after you. They just walk side to side. Which can be annoying when he goes in between a bunch of them. Though their hitboxes, like most of the enemies, are flat in 2D, like... Ow. That was quite a bit of damage. Mainly because I've already stated that when you let them explode by walking into them, they do quite a bit of damage. Alright, there we go. This is helpful though. Even though he's the only boss to do it while you're here, he does cough up a bunch of stuff to heal. I guess the game devs knew that he was the most annoying boss here to fight. I don't know. I watched a video of someone using max agility, which is using a certain weapon, which is a toilet paper roll, ironically enough. But yeah, someone using the best agility weapon, which is like a toilet paper towel roll, using the best animal orb for agility, which is Meowbert, the guy that you guys saw when I walked into the cave after the chariot area and then out of the cave, and then maxing out your agility stats. That is how to get max agility. And he could like shoot things so quick. Like if you guys think I shoot my arrows quick and like run around quick, you should really check out the video. I'd link it in the description if only I could remember what the title is. But yeah, this is actually easier in my opinion than the Cyclops boss, because not only do you have higher stats, assumably, unless you're doing like a level 1 run of this game, which I've never heard of. But the only time that you can't do damage on him, pretty much, is when he does this. Which, if you get ran into by that guy, it's devastating, especially considering you can't block him like you can the fireballs. But yeah. You can't damage him during this either, which I find annoying. But I mean, it makes sense. You're not technically hitting him during that time, you're just hitting the coffin. Yeah. I've done so many runs, considering I do like to just redo some of the areas from time to time. I've done so many runs of this boss and haven't got hit by it. I'm not trying to brag, but I'm just saying that I have done tons of runs of this boss without getting hit because of the fact that his attacks are slow in terms of just comparison to other bosses, especially that attack. And his fireballs are so easy to dodge, and if you can't dodge them, just block. Like, I've been choosing to block them since it's easier. And especially considering you don't even have to be facing the right way initially, as you guys just saw. Yeah. Honestly, this point where he's bouncing around and this guy is chasing after you is probably the only time, if you have any competence, not trying to call you guys stupid if you do get hit by the other attacks, but it's probably the only time you'll get hit by the boss without having made a mistake, because of the fact that that guy initially like throughout the fight gets faster and faster, which can be real annoying if you're low on health, because he like hits like an absolute truck. Like, that's no joke. He hits like a truck, the little guy we fought before who was chasing us. I don't know. Ow. Like, see, look, that was 77 damage. That's the highest amount of damage I've ever taken in the game. Well, at least during this run. I have taken higher damages before on another run. There. I don't know how he didn't attack after he was dead. This is probably the most awkward place I've ever had the chest end up. Get all these. There. Now, if you guys do want to know, there is this little X of bones right here is a weapon. So if you're trying to like 100% the game and get all the weapons, there is a baseball bat or a club or whatever here, which has some pretty good stats. But there is a weapon you get after you beat the final boss, which has the same stats, but except I believe that agility is replaced with magic. And it also has a fire effect to set some enemies on fire, if it wasn't obvious from what I said before. Anyway, time for the Necromancer, which, look at all these bodies. It's amazing. Anyway, yeah, I believe they pretty much retain their original... I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. All of these guys, I'm pretty sure all of them at least, do drop food, like health items. Typically it's like apples or bananas or something like that. Ow. Yeah, this is one thing I do hate about this boss, which is that during the enemy fight they can absolutely stun lock you, which is very inconvenient. Now I'm just gonna, okay, I didn't expect that to block it, but I didn't expect myself to be close enough to be damaged by it. Now you can't actually start poking at the Necromancer until you actually get rid of everyone, which won't happen yet because there's 2 phases to this fighting everyone thing. Which is inconvenient, especially considering, yeah, the second time around has some buff guys. The enemies obviously vary, but they usually contain most, if not all, of the different enemies that you've already faced. I mean, obviously, they're enemies you've already faced, but they're just, I don't know, they're just inconvenient. This entire area is inconvenient. Not the Necromancer boss, but just like the fighting everyone phase. The entire thing's inconvenient, and I don't like it, and I wish you didn't have to do it. Ow. They can damage themselves if, like, they throw you into them, or sometimes even if there's one throwing bombs. Do I have any potions? No, of course not. Ow. Come on. I can't die. I mean, I can still just immediately fight the Necromancer again, considering how okay, I died. I can still immediately fight him again, like I said. My speed in archery is a bit better. I do have to walk back there again, which is inconvenient when I have to fight these wizard guys. Because as much as they are easy, especially if you can combo them, they are annoying considering, you know, you can't do magic, even though I'm not going to be doing magic anyway. I wonder if anyone's ever done a no damage run of this game. I mean, it's been out for a long time, so I'm sure at least someone has. But yeah, I'm sure there's definitely someone who's like who like has done something similar to Kingdom Hearts, which is like done an insane mode run without upgrading your stats at all and without taking damage, which is pretty insane considering I can barely do some easy bosses without taking damage, let alone doing it on insane mode and also not having any stats up. Because I complained before during the catfish boss about how little damage I was doing. But like these bosses, the ones that are much further, would be just so inconvenient if you didn't have any stats up. Alright, so I still have some health. Maybe while I was at outside the, like on the map, I could have went and got some health potions. That probably would have been a smart idea. Anyway. I just can't be stun locked. That's the thing that's killing me. When you're stun locked, you're just dead. There's no coming back from it. Well, technically there is. It's called if you don't die, but you have potions. Ow. There we go. Ow. There we go. There we go. Ow. Yeah, getting a potion, doesn't matter how many, but getting a potion would have helped here. I don't really need Giraffe at this point, considering leveling up only helps to occasionally, if you really need it, up your health back to full and upgrade your stats, which you can only do when you're outside of a mission and on the map screen. If it wasn't obvious from the fact that I've never upgraded my stats while I was in the middle of an area. Ow. Unless you count the map screen as an area, in which case, yes, you can. I mean, it's an area in the game in terms of the fact that it exists and your character is technically on it. Oh, come on. I died. I died again. Alright, I'm gonna grab some health potions. Come on. Come on. There. Alright, let's try this again. Nope, that's not the right way. Alright. You can jump straight to the final boss once you get there. So if I die during the final boss, even though the final boss after before the God, I can't think. During the like kill everybody phase is actually easier than the necromancer part. And now that I think about it, that's probably what I should have just said from the beginning. Whoa. I mean, I could stun them, but stunning, or the headbutt, I guess I should say, doesn't, from what I know, doesn't stun the beefy guys, which are my real problem, aside from the ones who are throwing bombs like it's just nobody's business. Like, seriously, why would you throw bombs like it's a thing to do? That just sounds dangerous and inconvenient. Ow. Ow. There. I was hoping he'd drop another roast ham, whatever it is. But nope. Alright. Back to the necromancer part. Which again is really inconvenient. I would stay back, but it's the fact that they all have magic. There. At least I know that if I kill someone here, I'm gonna get a fruit or whatever to regain my health. It's the fact that I can't let myself get stun locked, because that's the time when I really take a dive. Ow. I don't know why the guys wielding the lightsabers, I also just call them knights since that was what they look like. But I don't know why the knights don't stagger. I mean, I know they're wearing suits of armor, but still. Alright. Ow. It's just when I get stun locked and absolutely bombarded with bombs that I take dives into death. Which I'm not sure if you guys have ever dealt with death, but it's definitely not a good thing. So if for some reason any of you are contemplating suicide, I don't know why you would be if you were watching my videos, but if any of you are, then just know that death is not an answer. This has been a PSA. It hasn't really. Did that bomb just do 40 damage to that guy? I don't know. No, I am getting stun locked. Come on, do the spin attack. Honestly, even though it still doesn't help sometimes, the spin attack is the only thing that helps you get unstun locked, or just out of being stun locked. Purely because of the fact that it does, like, it's an AoE attack. If only it was DTA, huh? If you or not DTA, but DOT. I got them confused for some reason. Whoa. Eh. There. Got some health back. Ow. At least I got my health back from that punch he did. Ow. Come on, just let me... Okay, I got that, which revealed some of that. Or regenerated. Okay, just gotta... Ow. Can you stop throwing me? Just stop. Ow. Come on. Stay out of my way. Come on. Why don't you two die? Especially you, beef guy. Beefcake, beef guy, whatever you want to call him. This is the same guy that gave me tons of trouble in the industrial castle. Come on, controller, I didn't even mess with you. Aside from the fact that I have to use you to play the game. Come on, just die. Just die. I don't know why he got set on fire. Maybe it was the bombs. So I'm gonna have, like, the smallest amount of health ever to fight the Necromancer. Not the hardest boss on Earth. There we go. Ow. He is one of the few bosses that actively blocks your attacks. I'm sure you can get into like a rhythm of being knocked back by his block and then doing a combo on him. Considering sometimes he doesn't block. I just have to be careful. Come on. I have to get away from for a second. Oh, come on, that did damage. Oh yeah, it did damage when I was fighting a normal enemy. Why wouldn't it do damage as a boss? Maybe I can get away and just do some damage with my arrows. Nope, that doesn't stun him, so I guess regular melee hits is what it is. Which is probably actually better, considering they do more damage. I did not expect that. I swear to God. Come on. Come on. I don't know what to do. Come on! Now I have to go through all that again. Strength is not gonna help me. Sure, it'll get the enemies done quicker, but it's not gonna help me not get stun locked. And now I'm realizing that I had potions on me and didn't use them once. I already knew this video was gonna be long. Now it's gonna be at least, like, I don't know, 20 minutes longer than necessary. Ow. Ow. Alright, I got an apple. Great. Ow. Ow. There we go. Alright. Forget the arrows. I'm gonna keep it on the potions, so that if needed, I can use it. And I won't forget about it because it'll always be on my screen. I don't know. Maybe I do hate this boss more than the painter guy. It's just that the painter guy takes a while, but this guy is more likely for you to die on, but the painter guy takes so long that he's debatably worse. Either way, you'd still rank them high on a boss list in terms of difficulty. Especially this guy, because during his actual boss fight, he's hard enough. I mean, the normal enemies block occasionally. Like as you saw, the lightsaber dude blocked my okay, I got a new combo. Like I really care right now. I always hate the combos that involve pressing a series of buttons that's longer than 2, because of the fact that 9 out of 10 times you won't end up doing the combo. You'll just end up doing normal attacks and then like a different set of attacks. Ow. Ow. If only I could get rid of the inconvenient guys first, but in this second phase, all of them aside from the ice guys are inconvenient. Considering the beefy guys grab me and throw me and do tons of damage anyway. I don't know where I was. I just saw a Grey Knight body on the floor and assuming that I was waiting to get up. Ow. Like you saw there that my attack was blocked by that guy. I'm sure it wasn't gonna help too much considering he was pretty much dead. Alright, gotta use one. I don't want to take the risk of being low on health but still high enough to survive and then get grabbed by the beefy guys and get a ton of damage done to me. Because the beefy guys, aside from just the fact that they do tons more damage, are inconvenient because of the fact that they grab you, which does tons of damage, and then they throw you, which does tons of damage, especially if you get thrown into an enemy, which does damage to your enemies, but it's still inconvenient. Come on, just die. And I don't mean you, lightsaber guy, at least not yet. I really wish the beefy guys could get stunned by more than just 3 sets of arrows. Move. God, I haven't even gotten to the necromancer boss yet in terms of the actual boss. And I still had to use a ton of stuff. Ow. That's the one I hate. You can get the necromancer boss into a string of just being of just being slammed on the ground, like with the stomp attack. You can get him into a rhythm of that, but that involves a lot of lucky catch-ups, considering he does get knocked far away and occasionally rolls. So basically, if you are lucky for him to not roll away, and for for you to be able to catch up, then you have a lot more luck than I do. But I do know that the wizard boss, while not too hard, or at least not too much harder, is gonna take a bit more. The wizard boss requires magic at one point, but you can wait a while in order to use melee only. So basically, it's not like you need to cheat in order to finish this. If I did, then I probably wouldn't have done it in the first place. At least he can get I don't know what you stunned. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. There we go. Step back. Now, those things don't do a lot of damage. I don't know why they don't do a lot of damage, considering they're magic. But they're still annoyances, considering they're like instant knockdowns. Come on. Come on. You're almost there. I have plenty of potions, and by that I mean 3. Which is still plenty, considering how low he is on health. Ow. Come on. Ow. That was very inconvenient to have happened. There we go. Nice. And he floats up. Just what I expected. Oh yeah, if you wait a bit, you do get his weapon, but as you could saw, I already have his weapon. I went through the entire game getting as many weapons as I can, but clearly, as you guys have seen, I've still gotten some weapons that I haven't had before. Either because an enemy dropped them, even though it's rare for an enemy to drop their weapon, or just because of the fact that, I don't know, it's hard. But yeah, let's go on to the final boss, which is much easier with magic. Not due to the section I mentioned, but just in general is much easier with magic. Now I have a feeling I'm not going to need potions, but I won't hesitate to change to them. Ow. Alright, slowly walk. Come on. Ow. Come on. Come on. Come on, he needs one hit. It needs one hit. Alright, I believe, yeah, this is the section where you have to wait. Whenever the bubble's blue, you can only damage him with magic, otherwise you get hit instead. And whenever the bubble is red, which it should be changing to here in a second, yeah, there. Whenever the bubble's red, you can only damage him with melee or arrow attacks. Which I'm going to use melee since, as I said during the Necromancer boss fight, it does more damage. Ow. Change to this just in case. Ow. Don't know why I tried to hit him. These can be blocked, even though you saw before it didn't work. But it didn't work purely because of the fact that I wasn't facing it the right way. This is the only boss that I know of that orientation for which way you're facing matters in terms of blocking its attacks. I'm not sure if I already have it or not, but if I don't know how to get the wand he's using, but I do know that you can use it as a weapon. It's just that it's kind of inconvenient considering he's using it and it's absolutely killing me. Come on. Ow. That's the best thing to do if you want to do damage quickly, which is basically make sure that you're running and then press Y or I think also X to dive at the boss so that it does tons of damage at once. But yeah, now it's on to one of the two easier parts of this boss. But the part after this is gonna be the most annoying part of this boss, at least in my opinion. Ow. I'm gonna heal just in case. This. There. It's a giant thing. This is inconvenient because not only does he spawn enemies, but because of the fact that whenever you go to do attacks, he constantly does damage. Ow. Or constantly does attacks, I mean. Also, yeah, I'm pretty sure that these enemies do not drop health things. If they do, then I've just been unlucky during my previous times. Ow. Can you like stop stunlocking me? Yeah, I'm gonna bring him to the middle. I don't want to be against the wall so that I only have one way to dodge and he's attacking that way. Ow. Yeah. He's definitely easier than the Necromancer, at least in terms, in my opinion. Like even this form, even though this part is the hardest, is still easier. Yeah, just focus on him pretty much the entire time, because since you have to do all jumping attacks, whenever you go to attack him, you can most likely get a few hits in on him, and also attack the two wizards at the same time. Ow. You can't even block his attacks, which is so inconvenient. Ow. He doesn't do a lot of damage, I've noticed. But that's gonna change during the next part, which is, I don't know. I'm not sure if I said this part is the hardest or the most annoying, but this part is the hardest. If I said that this part is the hardest, then I'm sorry for changing my mind. But I meant this part is the most annoying. If I have the part right. Okay, no. It's the next part that's the most annoying, which I believe is the final part. It's where you get that weapon, which I'm not gonna change to, but it's where you get the weapon that I mentioned before. Yeah. He gets a sword that looks like a dragon. This is definitely the hardest part of the boss. He has no bubble anymore. You basically, it's sort of like Frost Titan, but not as annoying, and you get more time to hit him. Ow. You can't block, to my knowledge, any of his attacks, and that prevents you from taking, or not prevents you from taking damage, but prevents you from taking opportunities on him whenever he's in the air, the things. Because if you just try to attack him while he's doing that, like attack him more than once and then immediately run away, odds are that you'll most likely just end up like getting hit, unless you're already at a running point. in which case you were probably only gonna do one attack on him anyway. Ow. 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 Yeah. Even, I know he's doing fire attacks, but as you can see, even during the boss, it still has a fire effect. Even though his seems to be consistent in that it's constantly doing a fire effect, in which case when you have the sword, it's like ones with poison, which is only one. Or not one, not like 1%, but just one as in occasionally. I don't know what the chances for that are. Maybe I should look that up sometime. Alright. There. That's Castle Crashers. I'm gonna... Okay, I can't heal. Yeah. That is Castle Crashers. That's the end of the game. Roll credits. Well, it's technically the end of the game. There is Insane Mode, and I'm not sure if like there's a special cutscene if you beat Insane Mode. Okay, great. I have to make sure I keep my controller still during this. But I'm not sure if there's a special cutscene if you beat Insane Mode. But I'm working on beating Insane Mode on Green Knight, which, as I believe I mentioned before, is my main man knight. Like, he's my favorite. Not because my favorite color is green or anything, but because of the fact that, I don't know. I just like him. He poisons, which is the most effective. Like, Orange Knight, I'm sure his fire does damage over time as well, but still, I prefer Green Knight. But yeah. What do I think of this game? It's a pretty good game. I haven't played Alien Hominid, the game I mentioned during this section and during, I believe, some of this video. But I'm sure it's a good game. And while I haven't played much of Battle Block Theater because I don't own it, my older brother does. But it's a digital copy on Steam, so I can't really play it unless I get permission from him, which is very, very unlikely. But yeah. I think that Castle Crasher is great. Definitely my favorite out of the 3 games that I know of them. If there's any other games by them, I'm sure they're good. Typically these beat 'em up style-esque games that they send you to do are pretty good. So yeah, I'll just keep quiet until the end of the credits here, where you take control of your character for what you can call as technically the last time. And finally, thank you to the entire Newgrounds community and all the people who have played our previous games or made a purchase at our online store. Your direct support continues to make our dreams a reality. But yeah, here's the end of the game, technically speaking. There's the king and there's the princess whose face we haven't seen yet. As you can see, there's a bunch of the enemies and NPCs that aren't typically in this area, like the frog the frog bull thing who has antlers. Some of the animal orbs are running around chasing them. There's some of the enemies, like there's a thief shooting at the wizard's face plastered onto the thing. There's the centipede things, which are probably the most annoying. There's this guy's spirit right here. A troll on top of the centipede thing. There's one of the princesses, the other's watching the thief guy, and the other's right here. And then this is one of the NPCs from before that I believe explained how magic works. But anyway, let's get this ended. Oh, and here's the blacksmith, which is a character you can play as. Oh, and she's a clown. Great. I do like this segment, even though it's kind of a troll. It's like, this is the princess that gave you the most trouble since you rescued, from what I remember, the last princess at the Ice Titan's place, which is probably the worst boss, as I mentioned, in terms of annoyance. But yeah. Try and keep my cable steady so that doesn't ruin my controller. But yeah, I believe I already said pretty much all my thoughts on the game. But I am gonna do one more thing. The end. Fin. Whatever you want to say. That also translates to the end. So I unlock another minion. I believe that's a minion to the guys at Industrial Castle. So I do want to do a thing. As you can see, this is where you go for insane mode. And it's basically like normal, except like the normal barbarian enemies, the weakest enemies in the game, technically speaking, are pretty much like at least as strong as the barbarian boss as level 1, or at least without any stats. But there is an insane store which can give you weapons and items that are more effective for things. And they do have 2 animal orbs, which I did grind up the money for before to get. Pelter here occasionally shoots ice. And, gotta clear that. And Dragonhead occasionally shoots fire. And this guy says, "Greetings, traveler." Now they do have a chainsaw, a gold spear, I think, and a gold mace. Now I haven't gotten any of these, at least I don't think. I believe the skull, by the way, means that like it has a very, very low chance to instant kill. But I'm gonna get this. Yeah, I haven't gotten this before. If I haven't gotten that one, then that means that I definitely haven't gotten this one or this one. See, as you can tell, if that will despawn, yeah. See, as you can tell, these are more expensive. But yeah. There is this thing which I believe, if I don't know, this is just my own personal opinion. I'm pretty sure if you beat the game on insane mode, you can like he does something for you, because occasionally when you walk up to him, my love is real but I am not, you've got an honest face. Yeah, occasionally he says this, which is, "I have a deep soul," which I don't know what that means, but as one who is a SoulFoxie himself, I can definitely say that whatever that thing is, like seriously, whatever it is, it's like a statue, he does have indeed a deep soul. But yeah, let's go back to the map screen so we can have music that isn't the strange shop music. But yeah, that was Castle Crashers. And if you guys want to see real quick the difference of how much stronger you are after you've beaten the game, even though it doesn't give you any more stats, I'm just gonna shoot this guy with my arrows. Just shooting him with my arrows. Snap out of the way. And ow. And there. I only got hit twice. Anyway, that'll be it for this video, Fox Pack, after I get as much gold as possible, considering I do want to end up getting those other items. Maybe not as Grey Knight, but as other characters too. I did level up from that, which is kind of what I wanted. But yeah. I will see you in the next Let's Play, Fox Pack, unless you do want to see more of Castle Crashers. If you want to see like some of me playing as Green Knight in insane mode, then I'll definitely do some videos of it if you want it. I won't be doing videos of it like a Let's Play, considering I'll probably be stuck at one area for like 3 or 4 episodes if I do play it, considering as it says in the warning, recommended for experienced players. I am not an experienced player, despite me beating the game now 3 times. But yeah, that'll do it. I will see you in the next video, Fox Pack.